A man with no depth perception walked into a bar. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. 3v3 is here, folks. I hope you've registered for it. If not, hopefully it's registered for you, if you know what I mean. If you don't, then you can join me, because I have no idea. But we're talking about 3v3 basic teams, which is my alternate account's story or take on 3v3, because my alt only has 2 Galactic Legends. I still stay in Kyber 2, and I mean, who knows how long I'm going to stay there, just because everyone from Kyber 1 keeps getting booted into Kyber 2, but I've stayed in Kyber 2 for like a year. I've made it into Kyber 1 a little bit, and I only have 2 Galactic Legends. I'm constantly facing people with 5, 6, or even 7 Galactic Legends, and I still manage to win the majority of my matches. And so I want to show you guys my take on things, my teams that I'm going to be using in my philosophy, so that you guys can hopefully emulate at least part of it. I know that it's still a big-ish account, it's still 8 million GP, but hopefully you guys can see kind of the skeletons of the teams that you want to be working on, and just kind of the off-meta stuff that I've been looking at, because frankly, you need every edge that you can in this game, especially in 3v3 when you have this kind of account. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work too. So let's jump into the actual game here. And whoa, we're in the game. Madness. This is madness still, somehow. So, as I said, 8 million, we're almost 8.1. I just keep bloating my GP, and for no tangible gain, I've actually stalled out on my Jabba farm because set 6 requires a few important things, which we'll go over in a little bit. But first off, we have my 2 Galactic Legends. I have the 2 Jedi, and I actually think that they make a pretty good tandem, because if you keep them all on offense, because that I should tell you up front that my main account plays pretty efficiency heavy, but I do try to get stops on my main. On my alt, yes, I try to get stops, I try to mess with people, but a lot of our tools are on offense, because if people want to set all 6 GLs, a lot of times I'm able to beat all 6 of them, even with only 2 of my own, because I know what's up. But really, I mean, I know all these counters, and I mean, we still need all the help we can get, and if we fail at all, then we're gonna struggle. So, Jedi Master Luke, better right now that we have set 5 and set 6 of Datacrons. I'm also going to be talking about Datacrons a little bit, because my plan can't really function without Datacrons helping. Now, you guys can run all of these teams without, I think, for the most part, and especially in 3s, you don't absolutely need Datacrons, but you're going to be aided quite a bit if you're paying attention to Datacrons. I mean, I don't want to alienate people who don't like Datacrons or don't want to play, but at this point, that's kind of like saying, I don't like mods and I don't want to play with mods. They're a fixture in the game, and we have to take them into account. And if I'm a competitive player trying to help you guys, help communicate competitive ideals, I'm going to need to use every trick in the book. And so if you don't love Datacrons, I'm sorry. I honestly sympathize with you on a lot of levels. However, we're going to be talking about Datacrons a little bit, here and there at least, and hopefully you can apply these principles even without them. Now, Jedi Master Luke, that said, has the ability to add a ton of protection to himself, which means his minions, his friends, can also punch really hard because they use his max protection percentage to be able to do damage. I like this combo because if Grandmaster Yoda somehow randomly dies, then Jolee is able to revive him. I mean, depending on if they allow revives or not. But then, also, Yoda's going to get a ton of turns. He's going to be called to assist a bunch, and you're going to get your contract, your ultimate pretty quickly. This team will take down most Galactic Legends, especially now that Lord Vader is no longer king under the mountain. Thorin has replaced him. No, Thorin died. I'm sorry to say, guys. Don't read The Hobbit now, you know the ending. So, anyways, we have Jedi Master Luke. He's going to kill most GLs. Lord Vader is even at risk. Like, this, he'll be able to threaten most Galactic Legends. He's not going to be happy against, like, Jabba, I don't think. And honestly, Lord Vader still makes him cringe a little bit. You probably want better Jedi. And I do clump all of my Jedi here at the top together so that you guys understand that all of them, I barely ever place any Jedi on defense because they're so plug and play, so mix and match. And you'll note that even though this account is only 8 million and I only have 2 GLs, all of my Jedi are Relic 5 so that I can use the best datacrons possible with them. So this is a good squad. If you really have to take something out tough, maybe you put Jedi Revan and Jolie in there, Jedi Revan and Jedi Knight Luke, etc. You can mix and match. Another one that's good with him is Barriss. I just don't have her geared. She's like gear 7 or maybe gear 2 potentially. I mean, it's the same thing. So like Barriss would work here. I just don't have her. And I don't really recommend working on her right now either. She's kind of a relic of bygone ages, unfortunately. She's not even a requirement character. So, Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, Kenobi, and Cat. So this team is an important one. You can put Mace here sometimes. Sometimes you just want to take the duo. The really important thing to remember here, guys, is, well, there's 2 things. Number 1, if you're going to be attacking a squad that has a cooldown reduction, such as, or a cooldown increase, such as Maul, like Lord Vader with Maul, or a squad like, I am spacing it. Malgus. Either of those can have a cooldown increase. If you're going to use the Annihilate from Kenobi, from Cat, you know, and do the like instant Annihilate, that works. Except you don't want to place it right away because a lot of times they'll then cool her down and she'll have to wait a few turns to be able to use her Annihilate, which is not what you want, really. The other thing to keep in mind, folks, is Datacron Set 6 has a Scoundrel ability that allows you to ignore revives, and that is really big, really awesome. It lets you kill people permanently, and that works really nicely. This team is great against, for instance, great against Jabba. And if you're up against Jabba, the thing that I've noticed is, even though I feel like Mace should be more helpful here, Kenobi, General Kenobi is actually better, at least in my experience, against Jabba. Now, Cat can kill Chrysanthemum on the Jabba team, and if you have the Datacron, then immediately it just kills Chrysanthemum and he can't come back, and then you have free access to brutalize Boushh. To Boushalize, yeah, that didn't work as well as I was hoping for. General Skywalker, you want to put Rex and 5s with him if you have them available, if they're relict, all that stuff. I don't have the very best 5s, obviously, but this is the best version of the squad. If you make Rex fast, remember, he's less speed, he's less fast, he has less speed, he has less fast, whatever, than if he's in 5v5, because it counts how many characters are 501st. And so he's only gaining 12% and giving 12% speed to all of his friends instead of the 20% that he is used to. I think that's what it is. I think it's 20%. Maybe I'm taking crazy pills. You don't know. Only I know. Sometimes. Jedi Revan, and so this is where it gets real hazy, guys, because Mace could go with Jedi Knight, Jedi Master Kenobi, Jedi Knight Master. He could go with a lot of places. You can also put Jedi Luke with Revan and with Mace, and that kills Malgus sometimes because Mace is able to chip away with Shatterpoint. Probably don't want to go with the relic levels that I do, but it works pretty nicely. I mean, if the Malgus team is weak enough, you could actually take Jedi Knight Luke with Revan and Mace, and you could kind of chip away at them. You can reduce their max speed, all that stuff. It's pretty fancy. Just remember, they're going to lose to the really strong Malgus comps, which are like Darth Revan and Basti combined there or whatever. You got to be cautious. So, I mean, Jedi Revan with Basti and Mace, this will take out some things. I think the thing I'm most comfortable with usually is just using Jedi Revan, Jedi Luke, and then either Mace or Hoda. But if you need to split them up, these are kind of the comps that I like. You know, you could also have Basti lead if you wanted to, with their Zeta and giving everyone all the bonus tenacity and protection. It can also work really well. This one team, so these are all offense teams. On defense, the one Jedi team I do place almost every time is this Qui-Gon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Jedi Anakin. You need to make them pretty fast. You need to make them faster than your opponent's Echo on Bad Batch, because if they're faster, then they'll be able to just kill the Bad Batch team without them going at all. But otherwise, they just get destroyed like really quickly by Bad Batch. So remember, Ki-Adi-Mundi plus 80 speed, Qui-Gon and Jedi Knight Anakin plus 60 speed. Ki-Adi-Mundi just gets plus 20 to start with because of the stance he's in. It's very sneaky. He's very, very sneaky. And, I mean, this team just hits so hard, and it just farms wins. Honestly, I expect that I'll get a hold with this half of the time I play this season. Even against good players, they just don't know how to counter this. In 3s, in 5s, it's the same way. We have this team on defense all the time, and it gets holds. All the people just try to go cheap on it, and it's like, well, sorry, bud. The problem is, you just need to make them fast, and this account doesn't have the quite the mods to make them the crazy fast that I want. So, Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's only 360 speed. I mean, sure, that's fast, I guess, but 360, like, my Bad Batch Echo on my main account is, what, 370 speed. So, just something to keep in mind, folks. That if any team farms defensive holds on this account, it's this one, for sure. Now, moving away from the Jedi, well, keep in mind, the Jedi Knight Luke is really good against, like, First Order squads. I don't know how well they're going to do against, like, the First Order TIE Pilot squads or whatever, but Jedi Knight Luke, like, against, like, Hux lead and stuff, he's pretty money because he can't be stunned, and he just, he hits them back, he deletes people. So Luke with Hoda, you don't want to go just those two. And then Ahsoka can go with whoever. She's just kind of a weird castaway sometimes. I like her on a Basti lead team, actually, because she has a Dispel. You can put her with Ezra and Basti, something like that. You can put her with, like, Shaak Ti and other people, like, also all the Dispels. All the Dispels are just pretty nice. Now, moving forward, I said this in my defensive teams video yesterday, whenever this was released. If you're running Radish, you're going to want, in 3v3, if you put them on defense, it is a good team on defense, you're going to be inclined to put Radish and Jyn together with your Relic 8 Cassian. And I think that is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. You really want a tank. If you take anything from this video, honestly, and I hate telling you this because I'm probably going to face you and you're going to be doing this, but if you don't have a tank on this team, you just get destroyed because you have bounty hunters and then you can take Bosk lead bounty hunters and just go in and target whoever is the weakest, which is probably Jyn, instead of having Scared Rebel Pathfinder get in the way. Like, you're going to want to put Cassian there, but that's the wrong instinct. You have a Relic 8 Cassian because of Profundity. I get it. It sucks. Have him go ride the Pine anyways. He likes it. He told me himself he wants to stay there forever, and you want to put some kind of tank in. K2SO, I have to put in Scared Rebel Pathfinder. You need some kind of a tank here, though, guys, because Bosk will delete you, and we might delete you anyways, frankly, but you're going to be way more defensible here. I use Akbar and Princess Leia. I have the Omicrons on this account, and that team deletes high relic squads. It is never ceasing to amuse me. It doesn't work against a team that has a good taunt, though. So get a taunt on this team. Get a tank, guys. That's very important for Radish teams on defense. If you're on offense, you can pick and choose. I think that this team is a great one on defense because a lot of times people underestimate it and can't get through it. They're like, ooh, I'll throw Wampa at it. He's good against rebels, and then the Wampa dies, and you can rejoice and loll at him when you're looking at your GAC history the next day. Now, we have Grand Inquisitor here, and if you guys have been working on Inquisition at all, like I hope you have been, then you have Grand Inquisitor, like I've been telling you guys for months and months and months, like as long as Grand Inquisitor's been out almost, work on Inquisition. CG loves them some Inquisition. So this is if you can get the Datacron for Grand Inquisitor, wonderful. That thing is going to be so nuts. And the best team at killing General Skywalker and the 501st is going to be Grand Inquisitor 5th and 7th. I know that you're going to want to use 9th Sister. I can understand the inclination. It's just not the right inclination. Honestly, it's fun and all, but yeah, these guys are, this is actually the higher win percentage with this team, and you're going to be happier with that because that 9th Sister can go on the Starkiller team. Now, this is something that's kind of strange, honestly, guys. I have this split on my main account as well, and the idea is You're going to want to get Ninth Sister her Datacron if you can, because if you do get that, she does AoE Fear, which is pretty bonkers. It's going to be crazy in 5s, but in 3s, it's still going to be pretty impactful. Then Darth Vader has Starkiller follow him around. Like, you know, this completes a Starkiller squad. So Darth Vader does his Merciless Massacre. He just does 3 basics. Starkiller follows him around like a dutiful puppy and hits all of the targets that Darth Vader does, ramping up his Star Destroyer of healing. And this squad can take out like a General Skywalker team, probably take out even more now that we have Fear AoE'd here with Ninth Sister. I'm curious to see if this is also going to be able to take out like Supreme Leader Kylo or Rey. If not, if you really need a Rey killer, then I would recommend using EP Mara Starkiller. That still works. I think it still works against the Rey teams with Ben. I'm not 100% on it, but the idea here, folks, is you also want to abuse that level 3 tank, or that level 3 set 6 ability, which lets you revive one dark side tank the first time they die. So Ninth Sister auto revives and does cool stuff. Like Darth Vader, remember, Darth Vader used to be amazing. He used to just solo things all the time. Now, set 4 is gone, and he is also a lost puppy. Him and Starkiller kind of complete each other now. They work well with each other, and Ninth Sister is going to be a decent contributor as well. Remember, though, if you do EP Mara, if you have a fast Mara Jade, that's one of the keys, guys. Like, if you get it up to, like, 365, and I know that that's maybe a little bit over the top. I think mine is 365 though. I put myself through a lot of trial, like a lot of issues and errors to be able to do that. Gosh, I need to get her potency up. I don't know if I can do that and keep her this fast, but the potency is really important to be able to take out like Jabba teams eventually. Just FYI. But if you want to split them up and have like this team be on defense, then Malak also gets that cool tank Kron. Remember, they're only level 3s, and it's not that uncommon to roll them, as far as I can tell. I've rolled a bunch of them without much effort, and so putting both of these on defense. Well, I don't like the Starkiller team on defense really. It might do okay, but honestly, this team on defense is going to be so obnoxious if your opponent kills Malak and then they have to kill him again. It's just good business. So this is a good split. You could also, honestly, just put EP, Mara, Starkiller together, and then, I don't know, the hodgepodge of things that are left it's going to be a mess for you. But that's just something that I think I will be doing. I'll probably keep EP Mara on offense, frankly, just for that extra flexibility. But we'll see. We'll see how the Darth Vader comp works. And then we have Malgus with Darth Revan and Basti. Previously, I had Darth Revan and Basti kind of just floating around on offense on their own, because they can still solve a lot of problems. I like them with Malgus now, just because Hondo is going to be around. He's able to actually kill a lot of Darth Malgus teams, unless it's the Darth Revan and Basti Shan version. This is the strongest version. It's still going to lose to Galactic Legends. If I could put more relics on Malgus, I would. This team is also going to get one of those Krons that gives him a revive as a dark side tank, and it's just going to be fairly obnoxious. I just have this whole lineup of pretty strong tanks that just, they don't want to die, and then when they do die, they just come back. It's fancy. Now, I do have the Traya Omicron. Yeah, so Malgus is on defense, by the way, folks. Traya Omicron, I don't know what I'm going to do here, guys. I think she'll go on offense, but I've never needed Traya on offense in this on this account. With the Omicron, though, it seems like she's going to be able to take down at least a few different teams that I'm going to struggle with. Like Jedi Master Luke, seems like everything's countering him these days, sadly. Poor fellow. But I think this team, they're only Relic 3 though, so I kind of really have to tiptoe around, and I'm curious to know if I should just put them on defense. The problem is I don't have great modding on them yet either, and so if you have higher relics or better modding, like I really want to get these guys to 5 at least, but I just can't. Like the projects that I'm working on right now that are distracting me from Jabba just prevent me from even messing with this Traya squad. They're all relic. They don't have great mods, but they just got to make do. Okay, so They might be on defense, they might be on offense. On offense, they're just going to kind of look at all the things that normally Traya does. Honestly, I don't think she's going to be... I think the Omicron is way stronger in 5s. In 3s, it still works, but I think in 5s is where it really shines. That's my theory, at least. We'll just have to see. I mean, I think she'll be able to take down... like, everything, like, below Darth Malgus level on defense, which, I mean... pretty considerable, you know, against like Starkiller. I guess we'll just have to see. So this is kind of up in the air, but I do recommend keeping them together as a unit. The only possible change out is sometimes you want to kill like a Padme squad. If you do, you could take Darth Sion out and put Thrawn in, and Thrawn can pass the turn to Traya. Traya isolates Padme, and then Padme can't give her team courage, which means you can just slowly take them apart while Darth Nihilus builds up his or, you know, cools himself down and then kills everyone. So, and he's going to have a really fast annihilate, actually. So, now, that's something I haven't been taking into account. So, this team is going to be good. Probably offense for a while. I think that at this low of relics, maybe I just get blown away by like CLS or something, or like a Han Chewie team before I really get a chance to start ramping. Now, this is one of the projects that I have for set 6 that it's not ready for this week. Hopefully, it's a week for week 2. I'm not sure, but I've started working on armor. She's been, I think, gear 8 for a long time, so I need her to be relic 5. I need Canderous to be relic 7 because I have his level 9 Datacron. And the idea here, folks, and so what I'm going to be doing for now is just using Watt as a stand-in for armor. And what's going to happen, I really wish I could get Canderous to 7 before lock, but I'm pretty sure that's also just not a possibility. If I could, what I would want to do is, you know, obviously use the Datacron, and we'd be able to delete probably like... I don't know. Gosh, I don't even know how in-depth we should get here, guys. But there's a data... Okay, so there's a Datacron that gives you 20% turn meter for every dark side ally. And the team that has... Or the character that is the weakest, that's health plus protection... you know, you can actually just go in and just add your health and protection. The weakest character gets 40% turn meter, well, 20% per dark side character. The thing that's going to throw you for a loop, and the thing that a lot of people don't realize, and this has been tested, people keep asking me, this can't be true, it's only a dark side, it's dark side only, Datacrons. It still gives that turn meter to the light side character, if that light side character is the weakest. So if you can make armor the weakest between the 3 of these, then armor is going to go first, and she's going to be able to start the whole thing off with 40% turn meter. That'll kill General Skywalker teams a lot of times in 3v3. So, just something to keep in mind. Even without killing General Skywalker teams, like the Canderous Omicron is just going to be bonkers, especially in 5. So I would recommend, guys, really work on your Canderous. Try to get that Datacron. One of the top 2 best Datacrons you can get. And then Watt can go because he can trigger Maul's early turn, which can then in turn trigger a turn from Canderous. You kind of want to make Canderous a little bit fast, though. So this is a special project, secret project, special, whatever. I'm really interested in it. Armor, if possible, if you can read that. If not, then you're illiterate. I'm sorry to say. I would have let a doctor break it to you, but you probably don't know how to sign up for the doctor because you don't. I don't even know. You guys are literate, right? So armor will hopefully be relic 5 the next time you see her. You know, in week 2 or something. Now, the Commander Luke team, I'm actually pretty excited about this. I have a Datacron for droids, because these 2 are droids. Then they spam target lock on basic, and so 3PO, or Chupio, sorry, is going to be assisting every time someone goes, of course, and so that spams target lock. But then if they're already target locked, then your opponent is also going to be debuffed for other things as well. I forget what they are, like buff immunity and breach and stuff like that, which are really helpful debuffs, but it also just makes your turn meter go nuts with Commander Luke. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably keep him on offense. I don't know. I want a strong front bottom zone on this account, and this squad might end up going there. Just keep in mind, if you put it on defense, it's also going to get wiped out by troopers sometimes. If people know what they're doing, they can just target Luke and pull the trigger. So just keep in mind. By the way, the Maul team, if you have Lord Vader, you can kind of break him off from Maul now just for this team. You can put him on defense if you have a really fast armor. I would recommend, I mean, you can do that sometimes. You can also just put like Beskar Mando here as the third as well on defense. People get messed up quite a bit. Just keep in mind, armor, or sometimes you can put Bo-Katan with them as well on defense, and otherwise Nest can actually solo this team if you're not careful. If you don't put Bo-Katan for all the healing regeneration, it's going to be important. Okay, so now we have the Gidme team, which I go in and out of using. Sometimes I like to use Padme with like snips and mace. You guys saw how awkward the Jedi splits are sometimes. It's because Padme goes really nicely with mace and Ahsoka. They can go on defense, and you know, like people try to Malak this solo the squad, and that doesn't work because mace does some cool things. And what I like to do here, though, if you want to take out a CLS team for relatively cheaply, you take Padme, you take Gideon, he wants to be faster than anyone else that you're fighting. So I don't have a fast Gideon, honestly, guys. I think he's only like 311 or something. Like my main account has like a 380 speed Gideon. Oh yeah, I boosted him a little bit. Okay, so he's gonna go. He'll have everyone's speed go down. Turn meter go down, except Padme and R2-D2 are immune to that because of Padme's leadership. But what that does, it also gives all support characters a bunch of protection up as the buff, and when they take a turn, that turns into, under Padme, that turns into 20 courage, which means you can auto-delete characters. I like to take R2-D2 as the third because his Burninate ability is able to just auto-hit. It doesn't miss. So if they have Foresight, you can still take them out. Same with Padme. I think her basic doesn't miss, so you can take out two quads. I don't know words today, folks. Maybe I'm the illiterate one. But you could take out two characters pretty quickly with that, and it's pretty nice. You could also just take like Ayla here. Ayla works. Like even Cup works. At any Galactic Republic support, you can look. There's a lot of them. Like Shock T works. There's some cool stuff. Threes, it works. It's not necessarily the best banners. Usually the guys you kill have a little bit of fight back, and they punch you before you can really recover that much. But it's nice. Now, Jedi Training Rey to me is kind of a mess. Some of you may have Rey, in which case you want to put Ben with them. But maybe you just want to put Rey, Jedi Training Rey, and Ben here. But I don't have Rey. So I do have Ben for some reason, because the person who runs this account daily, Sarah Celiac Sarah, you guys know her from the Create Expectations weekly show that we do, but she got me Ben, and so I don't have any Omicrons on him. If you have Omicrons, it's going to be a lot better with Rey. Usually he just goes to Starkiller, but he doesn't really have a place in 3v3 on Starkiller, so you could put him with Rey. You could also do something weird, like you could put Rey with BB-8, and then if you have BB-8, then any other droid is going to work. So I just have Droideka as an example. It's kind of a silly one, but that team might get you some holds, and the reason we do this with Droideka, it's better probably with R2-D2, but if R2-D2's chilling with Padme, you could put Jedi Training Rey on defense with BB-8, and if you put another droid on the team, then you're going to get more starting turn meter, which means you're going to be faster, you're going to be able to do some stuff. I like the idea of Droideka on this squad. Like, it's not going to really stop a ton of stuff, but if you put a kind of faster Droideka on the team, then you're going to be able to delete a lot more teams that way. Like, people won't realize that, people always forget just how fast Droideka can be and how quickly he gains turn meter to be able to go into damage immunity and annoy people. So next, I like Bam. Yeah, so this is kind of like this is like a cube of awesome. I don't know, I'm just coining all these awesome phrases today, such as the cube of awesome. But Bando can go. I really like him on offense, honestly, guys. Just with Kuiil and IG, because they take down like a lot of separatist teams. One of my very favorite things is to kill Dooku while he's stealthed, because one of the only things that ignores stealth, that lets you target into stealth, I should say, in this game. I think maybe the only thing that lets you do that, other than like mechanics that force you to only to hit people in stealth if you've already hit all the people, such as like Link for Sith Eternal. It's like, okay, you've targeted all the people who are outside of stealth. Now you have to target someone who's inside of stealth. With Bando, though, he can just target whoever is in stealth, period, and then he disallows revives. So him going with Kuiil and IG, killing Dooku while he's stealthed, is just too much fun. The squad feels kind of weak in 3v3, but it's fairly strong. It also beats a lot of teams, like it beats like most First Order squads, most Separatist squads, and yeah, it's just nice. It works fairly well. You can also just put Bando with like bounty hunters if you really wanted to. You can also put him with Han and Chewie, and then give him a cool datacron of some sort, because scoundrels are in set 6, and there's a lot of really cool options for them. Dash, also, if you have Vander and Lando, this team actually kills Jedi Master Luke. It also kills some Jedi Master Kenobis. I don't think mine is really strong enough at Relic 7, and he's modded for speed. I need to put some offense mods on him, some fast offense mods, if I can actually find some at some point. And so this squad I don't like to break up. This is definitely an offense team. Same with Bando. This team gets destroyed, just savaged by like Geos. It's quite embarrassing for all involved. But then this Wedge Han Chu, that can also, if you can get that pretty rare scoundrel one where every time you take the first time you take a basic on your own turn, you get a bonus turn, this squad is really good. If you do that, though, I love the idea of those two with Dash. So a lot of cool mix and matching you can do here. Keep them all for offense. Put the Han Chu team on defense sometimes. I don't know. This team isn't gonna do that much. I think if you wanted to put one team that's really great on defense, put Han and Chewie with either Dash or Bando. I think that's going to do you the most good, folks. Now we have troopers, which with that 20% turn meter cron makes them crazy fast. It's going to actually make Dark Trooper the fastest, because all of his stats are chopped in to quarters, and so whatever his health and protection are, remember he starts with 1/4 portion of those, so like roughly 15k of each of those. That makes him the weakest, and that makes him go first, but it also makes him plus 60% turn meter is just pretty bonkers. So this team goes, I mean, it was already fast. Just keep in mind that you really need to get the Piet buff onto Dark Trooper before you go and try to delete something with the mass assist from Veers. So hopefully that can work out for you. Iden, I like this comp here. I know that if you have a Relic Stormtrooper, you can actually just two-man a lot with Iden and Stormtrooper, and you don't need Death Trooper. I do love Death Trooper as a third, though. Now, if you can get a cool droid cron with General Grievous, this team can go on defense or offense. Honestly, he's not great in 3v3. I'm very interested to see what he's going to look like in 5v5. So far, though, in 3v3, I mean, he does okay. Like, we'll see how he does with a decent cron. I'm very interested. I think CLS gets the priority on the good cron. If you can get the target lock cron, then you have to go home and rethink your life and potentially put B1 with this squad. I'm just not sure how that's going to look. Now, we have Mon Mothma with Kyle Katarn. I have Bist in here because I don't have any other Rebel fighters that I like that much as Relic yet. And so I like this team. Like Hoth Rebel's Scout would probably be better. Cara Dune would be better if she's not going to be used with the Sauna squad, which I don't have Sauna here anyways. But that's what this squad is gonna do. Like, I like him for offense. You can put him on defense if you wanted. Like Kyle Katarn, he's kind of a mess. If you mod him really well, he does a ton of damage. But if you put him on defense, then people just delete this squad with a ton of different teams. Like, this is kind of a filler squad on defense, but on offense, they can fill a really nice niche, taking out a lot of different, B-level teams. So, I mean, it's your call. Biston's nice because he continues that turn meter train. and he makes really cool monkey screeching sounds in the movie, so that's awesome. You can reenact it, guys. You can, while you're playing this squad, you can be like, you know, you don't have to. I actually recommend you don't, but I'm just giving you options here, guys. That's what this video is here for, is to give you options. We have Shock T and Echo and Arc. In my main account, I say that I like Bad Batch with them better, like Echo and Tech with Shock T. That's truthful. However, on this account, this squad doesn't really get very many holds. I mean, part of that is probably just the relic levels and the relative modding on them, because I just keep stealing their mods for giving them to someone else who are more deserving. But the squad is okay on defense. On offense, you're gonna drop a lot of banners. Though Shock T can help you regenerate some of those banners, I guess, with her heal. I don't know. I just feel weird. It feels weird. Like, what are you doing, Shock T? You're not even with the other Jedi. Like, you've just gone rogue. You're just kind of, I don't know. She's so good plug and play a lot of times, but I don't know, like if you want another team, this tends to be, I got a couple holds last season with it. It's just, there's a lot that beats it, guys. I mean, pay attention to your mods if you want this team to do well. If you just want another team that fills the void and maybe steal some banners, that can work too. Make your Arc Trooper a little fast, you can surprise some people. Here's the GL Newt team, and honestly, so my buddy Solo Base is saying that if he got the IG-88 Datacron, and he's gonna put the 88 Cron here instead of Jango. I like that idea. I don't have that on this account. That's probably something I'm going to be trying for at some point, and at that point maybe I will. But for now, this team still. I just got Newt up to Gear 12, actually. It's been 11 forever, and this team, out of all of the teams that I got, I know that I told you that I print wins with that Qui-Gon Jinn team. The truth is, this team got me more holds last season than that Qui-Gon team did. Because people do use overwhelming force on the Qui-Gon team, and then they see this squad and they're like, man, these guys aren't that strong. They don't do that much, and the mechanics in 3v3 are just so ridiculous. People don't realize how many turns they truly take. And so, if you can give them some kind of cool Datacron support as well from set 5 or set 6, that's wonderful. I can't do it because I have Gear 12 on Newt, but yeah, this team Fs. So, alright, we have this Bosk team. I'm considering taking Zam out and putting Boba here just because I can then put the tank put that tank Kron on it and make it so that people can't kill Bosk easily. He's only Relic 5 though. I mean, this team gets holds. It gets a lot more holds if you have a stronger Bosk, frankly, but I like the idea of being able to use a Datacron on them, and I just don't have a Zeta Zam. So, you know, a Relic Zam. So you want Zam or Boba. But one way or another, this team will do pretty well. I mean, I think you can also just put a bunch of armor on the squad without, you know, from set 5 or something, and that still probably works. Let's see, Wampa, he does what he does. He kills stuff. There's a cool set 5 one, guys, that when you cause dots, damage over times, then you gain stacks of protection, which is really nice for Wampa if you can find that one. I think I have one here that also has a little bit of health and, I don't know, crit damage, something like that. Just about perfect for Wampa for a couple more seasons. He's a god in 3v3, so a great white fuzzy mullety god. Aura or Fennec lead for this bounty hunter squad, and that, so we'll have to see how the Fennec team does against Lord Vader. You might want Bam here instead of Mando. You know, that's truthful if you're using it against Lord Vader. Otherwise, like Aura and company, like these guys can actually kill some Malgus comps if you're fast enough. You can go in there and just snipe out Malgus, and if you're not fast enough, like that's pretty daring. But if you can, that's pretty great. 5s, it works even better. But just keep in mind, like people need Aura lead people need Aura relic because of Jabba now, and what people are going to discover is Aura hits like a space truck. She does really cool stuff, even as she has the antenna sticking out of her face, that she's still actually just she hits really hard. So keep that in mind, and yeah, use this team as you will. I really need to get more relics on Mando, but with what signal data, I know not. So this, I don't have the First Order TIE Pilot, Omicron, or anything. So, yeah, crew with Hux is good, like those two on defense. And then I like the idea of OG Kylo just because he gives them a lot more turn meter, though. If you have a good red trooper, he's going to be assisting every time these guys do, and every time these guys go. It can work okay. Usually this team doesn't get holds, but it can mess with people who forget about Hux's special abilities to whine and to stop people from gaining turn meter. Nest is definitely an offensive team, and sometimes you want Kira, sometimes not. Remember, you're going to drop 3 banners minimum if you bring Kira, whereas if you just have Nest, she might do some good. 3v3, she can actually solo some stuff. Sometimes you just want to plug and play her into some random other team just to mess with their ability to clear you, you know? You can throw Nest on any number of teams. I like her on a Grievous squad sometimes on defense, actually, guys. But alone, she can get a solo sometimes. Like, look for sortie squads. Sometimes sortie has a comp that can't get debuffs. If you have her rev modded for tenacity, sortie is going to be able to provide avenues of approach for Nest, potentially, to be able to explore. So, unfortunately, in set 4, we did lose the Grit Cron for Enfys, so she's not going to be doing as many cool things. I don't think I used her that much last 3v3 anyways, to be honest, guys. She probably starts going on defense soon. So this Akbar team, I already referenced it. I have the Omicron on both of these. I think it works okay. Like, my main account actually has the Akbar Omicron and, you know, and a Relict Leia, and this team still beats, like, some things. It's just not super crazy reliable without the Leia Omicron also just giving so much extra turn meter. So Stormtrooper Han is kind of custom built for this team, and unfortunately he's going to be yoinked by that Sana squad. Once we all have Sana farmed and geared, the Stormtrooper Han's probably going to go there, and then I don't know what's going to happen to Akbar and Leia. We'll just have to find out. So this is my favorite version of Night Sisters. I know that they don't have zombie here, and that I know that can be problematic, but I do have the Omicron on Asajj. Hard to get rid of that, and so I like this squad. This actually beats General Grievous, believe it or not. I've done it every time. I've succeeded every time, and even without zombie, it ramps up and kills things. So kind of nice. Definitely an offensive option that you probably want to keep. Otherwise, people just gun it down if it's on defense. If you do want it on defense, make sure you bring like zombie, and you know, you can put like Night Sister Spirit on the team with Asajj lead. It's kind of nice, and then you can have Talzin with old Daka go issue forth and cause mayhem. It's kind of fun. Let's see. Geos are, if you have better Geos than me, then you can still put them on defense and mess with people. If you have worse Geos, I don't know, like this team is very filler for me at this point. Geobrood Alpha can be an okay tank, but not really at this, like it's not even relic level. So, I don't know, I put them on defense just because I rely way more on offense than anything. They usually don't steal any banners, but, I mean, they are what they are. they take up space. Some people say that about me. So we've only got a few more teams left, guys, and I know that you're thinking, goodness for that, but we have this Bad Batch team, and they actually, in 5s, these guys do a lot. I recently got Echo to Relics, actually. I just keep deviating from my course. Instead of working on Jabba, I'm like, oh, Echo could get Relics, let's just do that. So he's Relic 0, and I mean, this team does really well, actually. It functions pretty nicely in 5s. In 3s, it's a little less operational and functional. I guess if I put a few more gear levels on Hunter at this point, then we can start really hunting some stuff, but like this still beats a lot of like First Order squads and stuff. I mean, they can even beat Geos, actually. You just have to make sure, the biggest thing is you have to have Echo be the fastest, and then however many buffs he dispels, he gives his teammates 5% turn meter. If you can make your tech fast enough, and give Zeta, guys, because it gives him extra 6 speed in 3s, and then 10 speed in 5s. But gives him speed. As long as your tech is fast enough to bridge that gap and go second, then Echo dispels all the buffs, tech can stun everyone, mod him for potency as well, and then you can just kind of abuse the mechanics of this team and delete people. Come watch one of my streams sometimes, guys. I love using this team. It makes me lol, honestly. So The Ewok team, I don't know, guys. They used to actually be decent. They just haven't gotten that much of a boost. Chirpa came out, and I was like, man, I have a lot of Omicrons on this account. Let's just throw an Omicron on him, and let's try to get some Relic Ewoks. And then I realized that wasn't going, like, I don't want to put relics on Ewoks. I don't want to use those resources. And so, if you get into fast Peplu, you can get the party kind of jump started. Remember, he has plus 25% speed on him from his unique. So Peplu is actually super fast here. With the Omicron, I just put it on defense. People just delete this squad. It's pathetic. It's very sad. I don't know why I'm talking about it still. We have Fin Po. This isn't the best like, I'll put it on defense sometimes, just because sometimes people fail against this. Actually, guys, you want a kind of fast hero Fin if you can. I bet mine is, like, the worst. Like, just so ridiculously slow, actually. Let's see. Yeah, 260, like, no one's slower than that. No one in this world is slower than that. So, yeah, do what you want with this squad. If you have these guys relicked, though, a lot of you do because of Rey, then, I mean, this is actually a legitimate team if you get a fast hero Finn. There's more and more things that counter it, like Imperial Troopers, for instance, but this team is decent on defense, and even on offense, they actually have some legs as well. Finally, these are teams that I'm not going to be running, guys, probably, but, I mean, maybe I will, just because I use worthless, crappy teams sometimes on defense, but Boosh is nice as a lead, because she has a mechanic that doesn't allow people to assist, or, you know, like, make attacks out of turn. And so the squad is actually decent. If you're working on Jabba and have these guys mostly done, I recommend placing this team on defense, actually. People will be surprised at how effective they are not against it. A lot of teams in 3s rely on assists and counters and all of that stuff, and that's not going to work very well against this team, and this team can actually just blow you out of the water if you're not careful. So this isn't a team that I'm going to put down. Like, they're just... They don't have enough. They're like probably about as good as my Fin Po, but they might surprise some people. You know, put your Zetas on, get your abilities up and everything. But it's good. Also, guys, if you've been working on, you can see I've been farming, just slow farming the murder bots here. Obviously, I'm not going to use this squad either, but if you have a sortie that's kind of done, like I've been farming all of them. If you have this squad is going to do some pretty good things as a stopgap until you get Afra. So if they're already relicked and stuff, this is probably the ideal comp for all of these 3. So anyways, folks, I think I'm going to let you go. I know that this is, it's not quite an hour long, but it's, you know, I'm gonna need a drink after this. It's been a lot of talking. I hope this helped, though. Just kind of help you understand some of the philosophy and teams that I'm gonna be using. You guys can always watch me do my live streams. It's on Twitch. You can find links in the video description. You can go follow me and get notifications. You can also actually get notifications on my Discord server. Just go to the information and roles, and then all you have to do is click a specific, like, just a reaction button, just like one quick emote, and you're good to go. You don't have to do some kind of complex formula, and then that'll send you notifications every time I go live, and a link so you can go to the tag, click on the link, opens up your Twitch. It's nice. It's free to watch on Twitch. It's a good way to support your friendly neighborhood streamer, and it's a lot of fun, guys. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.